Get ready, sports fans. The FanBase is here. It's the show where heartbreak meets hilarity. We're roasting your rivals, we're hyping the home team, and we're turning sports disaster into comedy gold with your hosts, Fat McAfee, Marty McDonald, the other fat guy, Travis Wright, and the bald guy, Steve Moser. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble. But don't fumble. It's the FanBase. Welcome to the inaugural episode of the FanBase. Here we are. I'm with Fat McAfee.
What's up, guys? Real name's Marty McDonald. Fat McAfee just happened during the setup. So
I'm Fat Pitt.
Yeah, but Pat, if you ever watch our stuff, I'm coming for you. Fat McAfee.
That's good.
I'm on.
That was good. So we're here to bring you the most fun-filled, snarky, podcast around sports and being a fan and roasting your rivals, hyping up the home team, having fun. Really, it's like sports fans are the most passionate fans in the world. And so we're here to bring you some of that excitement from our perspective.
Totally right, Travis. And we're excited to be here. In fact, this whole idea happened several months ago when we were right here in Chapel's Sports Museum in historic North Kansas City. We were actually presented these Super Bowl rings right before week one of the NFL season. And if you look at this sports bar, there is every square inch has got some type of really cool memorabilia. I mean, you see it behind us. I mean, heck, we got an uncut sheet from the first ever Sports Illustrated centerfold, 1954 Bowman cards. There's Jackie Robinson, Joe DiMaggio on there.
Yeah, Willie Mays, dude. It's amazing.
It's
and we're
crazy.
going to show you some other really cool stuff that's here in this location. If you've not had a chance to come out to Chapel's in Kansas City, it is a spectacular location. I think you could probably spend just hours. Even the bathroom is amazing, and it just takes forever because the dude's in there taking a dump, and I'm like, dude,
right?
These walls are really cool, but I know you got to go because I got to go.
So Travis, tell us how, like, we're starting to get to the whole origination of this, but FanBase, like what were we thinking?
Well, we talked about what should we do for a podcast. Well, if these walls could talk was one of the ideas.
Yep.
We talked about maybe legends and relics because there's all these cool relics. We could go to sports bars, and we kind of just let it simmer. We let it simmer just a little bit. And then we started a thing called Sad FanBase, and we were doing some fun, testing around with that. Turns out people don't like to be associated with being sad fan bases like the Jets.
The Bengals.
Like the Bengals. They don't like to be associated with like the Browns and like, the Los Angeles, the Clippers. They don't like to be associated with being sad fans. And really, but seriously, at the end of every year, there's only one winner. So we're pretty much all losers at the end of the year.
It's true, we are. And then we started thinking about, like, okay, fan base, really the whole podcast is going to allow us to become a fan of a lot of things, right? Except OnlyFans, right?
Well, we decided this is going to be an OnlyFans show where we show the hottest models with the biggest...
Wait, hold on.
That's different. That's a different podcast.
This is a different podcast.
Oh, it's going to be a different podcast.
Yeah.
But so seriously, it's going to be fun. We're going to talk about a lot of different things around here. And so, some of the genesis of this is like he moved back into the area. He's been in Arizona for years. And there was a thing that happened back in 2012 that kind of brought us together even a little bit closer.
Yeah. What's kind of funny about that is September 2012, and sitting at my house, the Chiefs just got smoked by the Chargers, and we were tired of it. But it wasn't just me. It wasn't just Travis. There's a bunch of folks out there. And back in 2012, you went on under a fake name on an internet message board to make your social sports commentary, kind of like Twitter today, or X. But we decided to get a bunch of fans together, and we created the largest ever social media fan revolution called Save Our Chiefs. And so from there, we rented an airplane. We flew banners over Arrowhead that said, "Fire Pioli, bench Castle, return Hope, save our Chiefs."
Draft a first-round quarterback.
Yeah, shocker.
They hadn't drafted a first-round quarterback since 1983. Now, what happened like 2 or 3 weeks before that, I was fed up, and I sent out a tweet to the Chiefs. I said, I'm not much of a Chiefs fan anymore. The yearly $30 million under the salary cap is BS. Greedy owners can FO. CC at NFL. And then 3 minutes later, they sent me a message back, and it said, you should get your facts straight. It's your choice to be a fan. CC, get a clue. And I saw that the next day when I was at Chipotle, and I was like, almost choked on my burrito. I was like, what? What?
Yeah.
And so I took
you to get a clue.
I took a screen cap of that and I put it up on Twitter, and a little miniature shitstorm happened for like 3-4 days. I was like on all these different sports shows, and then when Eric reached out and said, hey, let's fly banners, let's raise some money to fly banners, and I was like, dude, I am all in. I want to show them that I got a clue.
Right, and we did. And holy smokes, we could spend a whole podcast on the Save Our Chiefs, but the crowning moment was we organized a blackout Arrowhead against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Chiefs obviously got their ass kicked that day, but the whole stadium was 50% plus dressed in black shirts, jackets, Chiefs attire. Our good buddy Eric Grinnell was actually detained by stadium security because he was handing out factual flyers about the Scott Pioli regime, and so
we were all handing them out. My son was with me too. We were handing out Fire Pioli, all these different.
It was crazy. And it was actually my son's first ever Chiefs game, so I let him wear his favorite red Jamal Charles jersey. Okay. So he's kind of the unicorn on the blackout day. But a beautiful thing happened. At the end of the season, Romeo Crennel was let go. Clark Hunt took responsibility for the organization. He flew to Philadelphia to meet with Andy Reid. They had an 8-hour, 9-hour interview. A day and a half later, Andy's under contract, and the whole world changed for Chiefs football.
Now, what was wild about that is the fact that if the Chiefs hadn't persuaded him, if Clark hadn't gone there and persuaded him, he already had a 7-year offer on the table for the Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals. And then, Andy was holding out maybe to get something at San Diego because he's originally from SoCal. So they were kind of looking into those options, and it's kind of wild to think that if Andy Reid doesn't come to Kansas City, then look at that whole trail behind him that doesn't happen. There's a whole dynasty that doesn't happen. And since maybe we put a foot in their ass a little bit and just said, hey, we kind of nudged them and said, look, the fans aren't happy. Can you do something? Yeah. And the thing is that, they took about 4 weeks to hire Todd Haley back in 2009. And whenever I sent an email to Clark, I said, hey, you can't spend 4 weeks to try to hire somebody, man. No. All the good people are going to be gone. And so it was nice. And
it was crazy, buddy. It was crazy. And earlier this year, we were presented, all of us on the Save Our Chiefs crew, these almost authentic Super Bowl rings. It's not the same cut or same diamond and stone quality as the team got, but the weight is super heavy, big ring, and so we're excited. And we did a ring ceremony in early September ahead of week 1. And from there, we left this bar feeling, God, it'd be fun to do something again, but there wasn't anything to do. We couldn't save the Chiefs. Royals are actually turning the corner. We're not going to waste our time on Jayhawk basketball. Sorry.
They're pretty good. They're good already. They won championships.
But the great people here at Chapels are sitting on this gold mine of sports lore and history. And I mean, you can see the stuff that's behind us, but it's like a % of what's in totality in this.
It's unbelievable. How many rooms are there? There's one room there. There's this
the main room, 2 over there, big back room.
7 rooms in this place.
Crazy. And so I wasn't but 5 minutes out of this place that night, and I called Travis. I called Clay Windler, who's going to be a part of this. I called another buddy.
Clay's amazing. If you've not seen his Red Tribe cinema stuff, his videos are so good. And we're excited to have him be a part of this. As a matter of fact, we probably have a little clip from the Save Our Chiefs moment that we could potentially play. If he provided us with one, we're going to play it right here. This is Clay Windler, Red Tribe Cinema.
Dropping it in. All right, so back to what with our whole Genesis story is we're getting out of this place and we're like, guys, there's so many stories. What if we come up with the idea if these walls could talk? And that led to one thing and another thing and another thing. And we did let it bake. To Travis's point, we talked about the sad fan base.
We let it bake, and I got really baked. And we thought that we should do a show for real this time. And we decided to.
And here we are. So what you're going to experience.
But I'm not baked right now.
That's good. That is a good thing.
But we did have some amazing food here. They got some great food on the menu here.
Great food.
And we're fat. We got Fat McAfee here and Fat Pitt. We love eating food.
Yes.
So we're going to go to sports bars that have the best food, and then we're going to start right here. We're going to actually probably keep coming here quite often. Not every show are we going to be on remote. A lot of times we'll be remotely from Zoom or kind of zoom in from different places where we are because we do travel for business. But whenever we can get together, Marty and myself will. And we got our buddy Moser, who's right off camera right now. He'll come in a little bit, and he's going to do some cool stuff with us around college basketball. And as we move into more baseball stuff, he'll have some more conversations. And he's always got jokes, which is good.
That's true.
Clooney.
Bald Clooney. Yeah, there you go. Bald Clooney. So we already got names.
That's good.
Well, look, hey, that was our long opening, warranted long opening, but you really can't open a show without opening something else. So
True.
What you got for us over there, guy? Off camera, Bald Clooney.
Got a few baseball.
Well, hey, man, just pass them over and let's randomly pick one.
All right.
Let's have a celebration opening.
Ooh. All right there. Mr. McAfee, go in and pick one out.
All right, I'll get this one.
What'd you get? Oh,
I got Mickey Mouse.
oh, he got Mickey Mouse.
Hot box from
Look at
China.
this. What is this? 1989. I think this is a 1989 Bowman. All right, Mo, you got to pick one too, buddy. You got to pick one out.
There you go.
These are basketball players. Turquavion
Got to get Moser some reading glasses, I think.
We do.
Just for them. Del Curry. He's Curry.
Well, what year are those cards from? Are those old school?
Cities.
What year are those?
2023.
2023. Why would Del Curry be on this?
So what's this?
Old school throwback.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Panini. No, Prism.
Oh, Grady Dick.
Oh, you got a Grady Dick? Nice. That's pretty good. I like he did a jersey swap with. Is it? Ooh, it's a special edition one.
Well, I got a bunch of Mickey Mouse cards, and I'm gonna need a translator.
Let me see the pack, dude. That is
Hot box. I almost feel like Ricky Bobby and Talladega Nights.
Very nice. You got
when he's
Ricky. You got the Mickey Mouse cards. Literally, got a bunch of Mickey Mouse cards.
I have no clue what they're doing, but it looks like Minnie's on a horse.
Okay, what is that? Well, that's a cool looking card, though. That's
There's
like
a QR
plastic.
code, and it's going to take me somewhere. But I got Daisy Duck.
Okay, that's
got
that's a Daisy Duck refractor.
I got Walt Disney's The Whale, and this is actually kind of cool. This
that
is
is
Mickey
kinda cool.
Mouse, part of the Final Frame collection.
Oh wow,
So,
that is nice.
Let's see what you got, big guy.
I got 1989 baseball pack. All right, who wants the dig is on the gum. We'll see. I got some gum for you. Oh man, almost 40-year-old baseball pack of card gum. Let's see what we got here. Oh, look at this. What is that? So, that is I don't even know what the hell that is. Ron Kittle, Carlton Fisk. I don't know who that is. Juan Bell. Who is that? That's not Willie Wilson. Hugh Walker. I don't even know that guy. Don Hinkle. Okay. Tom Waller. What is this? Darryl Strawberry. That's kind of nice. 1989 Darryl Strawberry.
Pre-Coke or Coke?
It's definitely post-Coke.
Okay.
Right? I don't know these other. I think that's Theo Vaughn. Is that Theo Vaughn right there? Ooh, and a Roger Clemens. Dude, it's clear to me that Moser got the best pack out of that batch. Pass those on over to Mr. Moser.
There you go.
Take a look at this. This here is the Heisman Trophy of Paul Hornung. What year was that? Like 1956 or something? Is that correct?
Yeah, it was. And I tell you, this is a great way to kick off our If These Walls Could Talk segment, sponsored by Chapel's Sports Museum and Restaurant here in Kansas City, Travis. Yeah, it's super important when we talk about like being able to sit there and you have a real Heisman Trophy in a sports bar in North Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah. We thought we were just going to plunk it right here and be all like,
but it was bolted in.
It is bolted down. So
Hey,
that's
it's our first episode. Give us a little bit of grace. But this whole show, Travis, If These Walls Could Talk, this was the whole idea that we had that late September night where we want to come out here and bring back the connection that's missing in today's digital world where everybody's moving 100 miles an hour and we're kind of losing we're losing some of our connection to the sports stories of yesterday. And so
That's true.
you got the Notre Dame Fighting Irish going against those Buck Nuts from Ohio State on Monday night in the national championship. Mm-hmm. So we thought it'd be a great thing to showcase the Paul Hornung Heisman.
From Notre Dame. He was the quarterback in 1956. He's got some pretty interesting stats. Also, in that season, he racked up 1,337 yards. That's pretty elite. He led Notre Dame in rushing, in passing, in scoring, and even kickoff returns. Dude, that's like some serious level, multifaceted guy. That's like Travis Hunter before Travis Hunter.
Right, but here's the funny thing. He's a loser. In fact, he's the only guy to win a Heisman
He's a loser.
that was on a
Horny.
losing team. 2-8, 1956. So there you go.
Wow.
Heisman winner
And they still
on
lost.
a losing team.
Wow.
And they still lost.
Yeah. So over his career, 3,166 yards, 13 interceptions, and that's pretty wild. So he rushed. He was a quarterback. He ran it back, dude. I guess they weren't worried about you getting hurt. They're like, "You're our best player. Get your ass in there, Paul." And he's like, "All right." I'd be curious about what else was going on in 1956 that a guy who was 2-8 can be the winner of it.
That's a great segue, and thanks for the tee up on that. Oklahoma is what was going on, riding a 46-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Hornung and the boys from the Golden Dome, they went in there and they just thumped them, pounded them. He had that interception, that punt return. You know, the Irish ultimately lost by 6, but they gave the Sooners one hell of a fight that day. But hey, if these walls could talk, Travis, they'd be screaming about the Golden Boy. And so, with that said, Notre Dame, Ohio State on Monday night.
That's some good mojo for Notre Dame. There we go. When's the last time you folks from Notre Dame have seen an actual Heisman Trophy from one of your guys? There's only been a few times that's happened. Tim Brown?
Like Ismail?
Oh, Ismail?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. Good call. Moses over there, our stat guy. He knows.
Bald Clooney is going to Google right now to confirm this real time. Just like, who is he like on the Fat McAfee show? I don't know.
I don't know. We got to figure that out here.
But anyways.
I love Fat McAfee. That is hilarious to me.
Here we are. We're just hours away from Monday night in the national championship game kicking off. Notre Dame versus Ohio State. That's it. College football. I got to get a little bit of an elbow jab in here. Texas should have never been in the semifinal. Arizona State should have, because that ball that was caught by Texas in double overtime was actually hitting the ground. So am I bitter? Hell yes, I'm bitter.
And there was like some sort of was pass interference or like something went on.
It was a targeting call, but let's bring it back to Notre Dame and give them their glory right now.
He's crying about that because he likes Arizona State. Like, matter of fact, doesn't your son play Arizona State basketball? Baseball?
No, he's definitely not a basketball player, but he plays in the state of Arizona, but he plays some college baseball for Ottawa University.
Okay, so, very nice. See, I was wrong, but he wasn't Arizona.
ASU alum.
That is very nice. I love it. I want to actually say this because this is wild that Notre Dame stunk badly in the very first game of the year. Didn't they lose? They lost their very first game of the year, and then they've reeled off. Was it?
Is it Northern Illinois?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
Well, then they've won 14 straight since then, so I think it was their first game.
They did. And don't forget, Ohio State's always had some challenges. The fans wanted to get rid of Ryan Day. I think somebody actually flew a banner
they did
over the Ohio State parking lot.
Which is very near and dear to our hearts.
Which is
We're
crazy.
Big fans of that.
But
I think that's good.
I think this game's going to come down to Riley Leonard. And are we going to get Riley Leonard first half, or are we going to get Riley Leonard second half? Notre Dame's been a better team second half, so who knows?
Either way, we know that Riley Leonard's mom is going to message him and tell him that he sucks. Have you seen
awesome.
his mom?
That is awesome.
Before every game, Riley Leonard's mom like, "You suck," and because Riley Leonard, he was like, "Dude, why is it everybody's telling me how great I am? Nobody's telling me that what I need to improve on." And she's all like, "Oh yeah, I'll tell you. You suck."
Yeah, that's like my mom high school year.
Yeah.
She told me to take out the trash.
Yeah.
But first game of the year, I struck out in a at bat and walking back to the dugout fence. And Mom, if you're watching this, I still love you. But she got out of her lawn chair and said, "Don't you ever fucking strike out again," right in front of the whole crowd and everything. And yes, my mom did use the F word.
She said the F word like that?
Travis, let's look at some strategy here. Ohio State, Emeka Egbuka. What's he going to do? He's been tearing up defenses all year. Do you think he's going to shine on Monday night?
I'm not sure, but I do know, what's that one dude, Jack? What's his nuts? The linebacker guy? The guy who ran that one back all the way? What's his name? Jack something? Sawyer.
Jack Sawyer.
That dude's going to be big in the league. Like, that guy is going ham, dude. It's nice to see. So I don't know about this dude you just said, Emeka Habagabu. I'm horrible at names, I'll tell you that. But I think it's going to be a good game, but I'm going to say this. I know my son's best friend, one of his best friend, Gavin, loves Arizona State, wants Arizona State, but we're sitting in the presence of Notre Dame's Heisman Trophy, so I'm going to say Notre Dame just because of the mojo of this room.
Arizona State's not playing.
I mean, Ohio State. See, I'm horrible at names, but that's okay. I'm a fan, but I'm a shitty one.
Yeah. Oh my God. we'll get that one fixed in pre-production. It's week 1, episode 1 of the fan base. So again, have some grace.
That's true.
Look. There's a part of me that's actually going to go Ohio State here, but I also know Ohio State has a history of choking in the big game. Just ask any Michigan fan, they'll tell you about it. But I think this is a 1-point game. I'm going to go 29-28 Ohio State. What's your score, Throw?
29-28. Well, I'm actually trying to shut this thing off because my mom's blowing up my phone on Facebook Messenger. Oh, hey, I saw a new conspiracy video. You got to see it. It seems to still not be working. Anyways, I got that on airplane mode. What do I think it's going to be? I think it'll probably be about a 9-10 point win. So how many they're going to score, not sure. But they've typically been scoring in the 20s. So I would say it's probably going to be maybe 18 to 27, something like that. Let's go with that.
All right.
I want to see Notre Dame win. That'd be kind of fun because I remember the league always seems a little better when Notre Dame's doing good. And what's wild is this whole setup with the college football now. The top 4 seeds gone. They had this long bye. All of them gone. In previous years, none of these teams that are in the finals would have even qualified for the playoff to be in this game. So that's what I find interesting.
Cool. All right, we're going to go. We'll see what happens on Monday night. Make sure you tune in.
So we're going to talk about the first game on the plate. We are Chiefs fans, obviously, but don't hold that against us. A lot of people hate the Chiefs, but really, we talked about that in the beginning. We have helped them kind of become a dynasty in a way. Without the little butterfly effect, then there was we would maybe not be this. So you can blame us. You can actually maybe hate us more.
Sorry.
It's okay. But last time that the Texans played the Chiefs at Arrowhead in the playoffs, my son and I were there, and it was 24-0 before we knew it. And it was in the first quarter. It's 24-0. We are cussing. We cannot believe. I was trying to be optimistic. I was like, oh my God. But then I was like, dude, we built for this. We built for this. And then they kicked a field goal and it was 24-0. I was like, son of a bitch. How are we going to do that?
And that's really when the legend of Patrick Mahomes wasn't born, just strengthened. And you know what's funny about that game, which the Chiefs eventually won, is Daniel Sorensen had that big play when the Houston Texans ran the fake punt.
Yes.
And guess who the upback was that ran the fake punt for the Texans? It was today's starting safety, Justin Reed.
Very nice.
Daniel Sorensen bumped him, knocked him down 3 yards short of the first down. And here we are. So now we're getting Chiefs versus Texans.
He had 2 big plays in that game. Sorensen had another huge play to he hit that dude whenever they caught the punt, and then he hit it and knocked it out.
Yeah,
then,
he did. He did have a big game.
That was a great game. So thank you to Mr. Sorensen for being so amazing in that game.
And here we are. So Chiefs they ended the season a little bit better. We've had 24 days off since we last played. A lot of people are going to be like, hey, is that rest going to lead to a lot of rust? We don't know. But we do know this. This is actually the first time since July training camp the Chiefs have actually been healthy. And for 2 days in a row, they've had 100% participation in practice by the roster.
We've got Hollywood Brown back. And then the fact that we got D-Hop. And then, it's like all these things. And you see, Worthy tearing it up. It's like, that's going to be a tough game for them it's going to be tough for the Texans because, they don't have Tank Dell. They don't have Diggs. And so that should be, realistically, the Chiefs should win by at least 10 in that one. I think they should win by 2 scores easy.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a double score game for the Chiefs on this one. Deontay Johnson, the Texans just cut. And then literally hours before we cut this, the Ravens reclaimed Deontay Johnson. So it's going to be
real. That dude's been to 5 teams this year, bro. He must be a problem child.
It's crazy. Maybe that's a future topic. But I'm going Chiefs on this one, 33-23 over the Houston Texans.
They're going to score 30 finally?
Yeah, we're going to do it.
Wow. We have not scored 30 this year. We scored 29 one time, but we have not scored 30
I thought we
this
got over
year.
30.
I don't think we did. Have we ever gotten over 30?
I don't know.
Ask
We'll figure
the
that
stat
out.
team.
Exactly, man. 30 exactly.
We scored 30 exactly versus who?
We got it against somebody.
Jamie, pull that up. We don't have a Jamie.
Let's move on to the next game. We got the Commanders.
Well, let's do the
and
rest.
Lions.
Before we do that one, let's go ahead and do the Ravens and the Bills, since that would be the next team. Let's get the AFC out of the way. Unless you want to go AFC, NFC, AFC, NFC.
Oh, I was just going to go with the schedule for the Saturday games.
Oh,
and the
okay.
Sunday
That makes
games.
sense. That makes sense. Let's do that then.
Yep.
So that one's going to be interesting because Detroit is playing lights out. They're throwing up 30 every time they go out there, right?
That's true.
Their defense sucks, and so this kind of reminds me of the 2020 Chiefs when we had Bob Sutton and his defense was horrible. And so the Chiefs had to put up a lot of points because their defense was giving up a lot of points. Detroit's defense has been injured quite a bit, right?
They've had
And so
18 guys on IR this year.
Dude, 18 guys on IR this year. And I think, I'll tell you what, I really like the color of their jerseys. They're really nice. Their new helmets are badass, dude. Plus, dude, the Washington Redskins, I'm going to call them the Redskins because I grew up that, and I'm not, you can't
It's
stop
actually a
me.
movement to bring the name back.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is kind of offensive. But I would say this, is that I love the Washington's the new jerseys too, and their helmets, they're badass. I want the Chiefs to get those cool new alternate helmets, like badass sort of.
That'd be kind of interesting.
They should throw some more yellow in a jersey, dude. They don't.
We definitely need a little bit more mustard in our ketchup.
Yeah. That is true.
Jaden Daniels, rookie quarterback, having a hell of a year.
Dude, he's amazing. He is spectacular. Watching him play has been, it reminds me of another rookie, a Washington rookie quarterback that was not too long ago, RG3. He used to tear it
Yes.
up, and then he got hurt, and then they lost that playoff game. So Jaden has done something that RG3 did not do. They won a playoff game.
Yeah. I tell you what, Dan Quinn's done a hell of a job for the I almost did it again, but for the Commanders, I'll stay PC for this stick. But Dan Quinn's done a hell of a job with the Commanders this year, but they got a tough task. They got to go into Ford Field in Motor City. The Lions are hungry. The fans are rowdy. I don't expect them to act like Eagles fans this week, but who knows? There might be one or two idiots in that stand, but I think this one's got Detroit written all over it, and I think it's probably going to be a blowout. Where the Washington, we're wondering if they even got on the bus to get to the
Think so?
airport to get
It
to
could
Detroit.
be. It could be a big blowout. There's a lot of people thinking that it's going to be Detroit in the Super Bowl, and I could see that. I could see that very easily being the case. The Eagles do if they win their game, then that's going to be a fascinating game. Lions versus Eagles. If that happens,
It would be. That would be a heck of an NFC Championship game.
it would be good.
It really would.
be good. Remember last year? I think it was when the Lions were in the NFC Championship and they were tearing it up in the first half, and all of a sudden the 49ers came storming back. Like that stuff was crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
that was nuts. That was nuts. So speaking of the Eagles, they get not the Chargers, the Rams, and we got the Fireball, and all the unfortunate situation going out in Los Angeles.
Yeah, heart goes out to that, man. It's just
Big
so
time.
crazy seeing all that history and all those amazing houses and all these people sort of out of a home now. It's so weird.
It is, and it's got the Rams playing motivated. They looked great last week, Travis. I think the Eagles' run comes to an end here.
You think so?
I do. I think
Wow.
this is Sean
The
McVay's
Rams
got
are going
something
to
cooked
go
up.
into Lincoln and they're going to take care of the Eagles?
I think so. It's my upset pick of the week.
Wow. I do not think that is going to happen. So I think the Rams are going to go home and sorry if they have a home.
Oh, wow. That was a shot.
Sorry, that was bad. We're bad.
All right, let's get to the Sunday
No,
night.
seriously, I got nothing but love from LA, man. I've been out
Yeah.
there so many times. I love that place.
It is.
One of the most beautiful climates and beaches in the world.
It is.
Wow.
So let's go to the Sunday early or late afternoon, early
Yeah.
evening game.
There we go.
Depending on if
last
you're-
game of the playoffs
Yeah.
of this round.
I believe it's the Ravens against the Tatankas, the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, they're going to be going on there. What do you think that's going to happen? What do you think? What do you think we're going to see there?
I
Because
think
that's going to be one hard-fought match right there, man. This is like MVP QB versus MVP QB, it's basically MVP QB versus MVP wannabe, who's not been.
Yeah, I mean, look, Buffalo, if I had 13 seconds to detail how this would work out for you, it's going to come down to a loss. Lamar Jackson is just too dominant, too powerful. Add in the thundering legs and battering ram style that Derrick Henry has still got in it. The crazy thing in this game is that every play, Travis, that Baltimore has, they got a spin-off play with Lamar. And I think he's actually playing some of the smartest football he's played in his career. I'm glad that those two teams are going to beat each other up this weekend before Kansas City faces one of them in the AFC title game, which Nick Wright refers to as the Arrowhead Invitational every year because Patrick Mahomes, in all 7 years of starting, has played in the AFC title game. This year will be number 8.
That's wild. Yeah, Nick Wright is my brother. You can tell by the nose. You can tell that we are related. No, we're not related, but he's a good dude. I like Nick Wright. He always cracks me up. He's a big homer for the Chiefs. That is for sure. We would have our own banners that we would drop. We could totally do that, but we do not have banners. But I will say this. Lamar and that team is on a terror. Dude, like when you got King Henry out there, you drop the ball to him. You don't know if they're going to give it to him or Lamar's just going to kind of squiggle out, dude. He's so squirrely. It's got to be so hard to try to get your hands around and tackle that dude. Lamar is spectacular. Now, I'm not going to take anything away from Josh. I think Josh is spectacular. I think the Bills could win this game. I think it's more likely that Lamar and the Ravens win it. But man, this is one of those toss-up games to me because it just depends on who shows up. Right?
It is, and I think a lot of people are making a big deal about the weather. It's going to be cold. It might be a little snowy. There could be some wind in Buffalo.
That's the trick. If it's snowy and cruddy.
Baltimore's a cold weather team as well, and I think their ground game suits those conditions at Highmark Stadium.
Well, Cook's amazing too. They got a great running back.
He is.
He's spectacular. They got great tight ends. So they don't have all their players, but it's just kind of wild to see that. Like I was like, oh man, last week Keon Coleman should tear it up. I'm doing my own parlay picks.
Yep.
Nope. Oh, Amari Cooper should get over 25 yards. Nope. But they still threw for a ton of yards, and like. Not to any of my guys that I picked on my parlay, by the way. No. So thanks a lot, player prop picks.
Yeah. And the burning question I have in this game, and then we're going to get to some other things here shortly, is will the Buffalo Bills fans do what they did a couple years ago where they threw a bunch of dildos on the field? I think that's really a legit question.
They brought dildos into the stadium?
They did. It's a very Buffalo thing to do. Well, it's like Cincinnati.
Where did they hide them to bring them in?
We don't know. But it's like the Cincinnati Bengal fans who stuck potatoes in their pants when they played at Arrowhead last couple of playoff games, and they would sneak potatoes in to Arrowhead. We'll let you figure out where that goes.
Make sure to put the potato in the front instead of the back.
Wait, what? I've been doing it wrong for all these years.
So we want some more picks. Now here's a guy that I have known, Lance Sargent, for almost 40 years. I've known him since I was 10. And he may or may not have some spectacular picks for us right now.
Looks like we got some picks today for you folks. I'm excited about this. This is my buddy Lance. Known him since I was 10. He's a coach. You're actually Coach Sargent, which is weird for me to say, but it's true.
For a long time, football, basketball, baseball, softball, you name it, I did it.
He's a scientist when it comes to the art of sports betting. So let's get into it. All right, let's start off first there, Coach, with NCAA finals happening, which is weird. The top 4 seeds all out immediately. And so these people would have never have been in a previous year. Tell us, how are you looking at the NCAA championship this year?
I'm really excited about this game. I mean, everybody is thinking Ohio State's going to run away with it. And don't get me wrong, Will Howard is a great quarterback, was a great quarterback at K-State last year. Ohio State was very lucky to get him. He does make some mistakes. They have a really good running game. Both teams have great offensive line. Both teams have great defenses. I think it's going to be a battle. I'm not confident enough to say that it's going to be under because these college teams can turn it loose at any time. But I honestly believe that Riley Leonard and the Irish, I think they have the better coach. And I think that the Irish will definitely stay within 8.5. I honestly see the score being 21-17 with the Irish winning outright. So if you're a little froggy and want to bet the money line, it's like plus 335. You could take them. Wow. But my safe bet recommendation is the Irish plus 8.5.
There you go. So as long as the Irish lose by less than 9, you're golden, which is
you're a winner.
So let's hopefully we're not at the end of the thing like Riley's mom telling him, "You suck, Riley Leonard. You suck."
I'm hoping she has nothing to complain about this week if her son wins.
That is true. So let me ask this: are the Eagles going to suck this week?
I think the Eagles are a really good team. They won I think they were 14-2 this year. Jalen Hurts was hurt the last 2 weeks, and I think he comes back. He struggled a little bit last week. Their defense is good enough that they can pretty much hold anybody.
Got all those Georgia Bulldogs over there.
There is a lot of Bulldogs on that side, and you got a Bama guy running quarterback. So, I mean, the SEC is pretty solid when it comes to college. So you think
Eagles.
So I think Jalen Hurts. I think, to be honest with you, I think the big difference in the game is the two running backs. I think Barkley's just better. I think he's a better running back. We saw that all year by him rushing for over 2,000 years, 2,000 yards. So I think the Eagles. You could bet them at the 6, but the safe bet's betting money line. I think they're minus 365, but I think you can bet them, and it's a safe bet. I think they're going to win that.
There you go. Now, Jaden Daniels is playing an amazing lights-out season, man. It's almost like he's got ice in his veins. He's like Jordan-esque somehow. It's like all those games have come down to the very last play from scrimmage, so never count them out completely. Let's talk about the one up in Buffalo there, Coach. What do you think about Josh versus Lamar?
Well, I'm kind of like Kansas City too, so I'm not a big Josh Allen fan because he's so dang good. Actually, both of those guys are so good. The Chiefs played both of them this year. To me, they're two great quarterbacks. I think Josh Allen is probably the more complete quarterback. I think that Lamar Jackson runs the ball. His throwing has gotten better, but I think the Bills have just been there recently, and, they have lost to the Chiefs, but I think Josh Allen's will to win. I mean, he's Rudy out there on the football field. He's going to do whatever it takes. It's a close game. That's why I say, you could take the point that because the Ravens are favored in this game, but to me, it's better to bet the money line because not very many football games, especially with the Bills and the Ravens. I don't think they're going to go for 2 on any of these. I think they're going to play it out to the end. If it goes to overtime, it goes to overtime, and they're going to go to win the game. But
kind of wild.
Josh
Allen,
Allen
toss up with those guys, man. It's always like those are some two real teams. That's going to be a fun game to watch. Another one, dude, the Chiefs. You're thinking the Chiefs -3 and under 47.5. Tell us about that. What is the teaser thing you're thinking about this? How's that work?
Okay, so I think that Pat Mahomes has been off for 3 weeks, and I think the offense is going to be a little rusty. But totally on the opposite way of it is that their defense has been rested, and the defenses usually aren't rusty when they get rest. They're better. They're attacking. The Chiefs' defense is already phenomenal, and I think the Texans have struggled down the way. They stepped up last week and won a football game that a lot of people didn't think. They thought the Chargers would win that game, and I don't think you can lay 9 points because the Chiefs have had close games all year. Wouldn't surprise me if they did win by more than 9, but the safe bet, and that's what Coach Sargent's here to do. He's here to give you what he feels is going to make money. If you tease a bet, what that means is you have to pick 2 bets, and that's what we've done here by taking the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 9-point favorites. If we tease it, we get 6 points. So they go from -9 to -3. And they're the under and the over, which means we want the total score between both teams to be under. The under with, if you bet right now, is 41.5. But if you tease it, you get 6 points on that also. So you went from 9
You're
to 3.
You're pulling 6 points from over here and putting 6 points over there, essentially, kind of, right?
That's right. So you're going from 9 to 3 and from 41 to 47 because you want to be under that number. Whichever way benefits you the best, that's the way you're going to go when you tease a bet. So if the Chiefs win by more than 3, if they win by 4 and the score is under 47.5, both of those have to hit for you to make money. I want to make sure I advise you the right way, but you're getting 6 points both ways. I think it's a safe bet. It doesn't matter if the Chiefs win by 20. I don't see Patrick Mahomes losing this football game. I think he wins by more than 3. Probably more like 7 or 8, but that's the safe bet. Tease that sucker and let Mahomes take you to a W.
There you go. And then if that all pans out, then we will be at the Arrowhead Invitational next week, as Nick Wright likes to say. All right. Well, I think that's great, man. I really appreciate that. And in future episodes, we'll probably have more in-depth stuff. And as other things are popping up and different sports pop up. But very first episode, great job. Good, sir. Coach Sargent, dropping the knowledge, man. We appreciate it.
Let's all make money. That's what we're here. And let's go for the fan base. Get a lot of discussion going. I'm excited about it.
Awesome. We're excited to have you. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
Basketball jingle. Here's our basketball jingle.
All right.
We have not met this guy right here. I have known this guy over 25 years now, maybe. Close to it, 30 years.
95.
Oh my God, 30 years I've known this
29
guy.
and a half
He is
years.
way older than I remember whenever I met him, though.
We were selling a product called long distance.
10 cents a minute forever.
It doesn't exist anymore. And
With Sprint, baby, way back in the day. So Moser loves college basketball more than anybody that I've ever known. And with him being a fractional CFO, working with a lot of businesses and helping them, he spends his good free time coming up with the best new rankings according to Moser. I remember he'd be called like, I can't believe that Ohio State's ranked number 17. They should totally be ranked number 1 because they lost to these guys and those guys these rankings are totally incorrect.
in my defense, the reason I like college basketball, it helps me get through the winter. Winter sucks. It's cold, it's dark, it's all the time. And I don't know, just compared to watching like football, there's so many games that you think there's no chance of an upset. It just kind of gets lopsided. But with basketball, tons of upsets, tons of close games. It's fantastic. True. So
FanBase-tastic.
So you wanted to know the best 5 games this week.
Yeah.
Well, one of the best 5 games is already over. So
it's already over.
I don't know if we want to talk about that one.
How bad did we lose?
It looked like lost by about 10 or 15 points.
So the Kansas Jayhawks lost to the number 2 Iowa State, and that sucks.
Cyclone. So don't count that one.
That was not one of the best 5 games this week.
It would have been, but now it's no longer.
It would have been way cooler if the Jayhawks had won, but they did not.
But we do one thing that's interesting this year. I don't know if you've been following it. It's kind of interesting. The southeastern part of the country, they love football.
Yeah, the SEC.
And they're more, mediocre interest in basketball. And if you followed, their football has gotten significantly worse, but their basketball has gotten significantly better. It's actually the best conference this year.
Really?
So it's actually kind of amusing that the people that live in that area of the country don't really like basketball that much, but they're really good at it.
But they're really good at it. That's good. That's kind of
probably all the football money is
good.
Being funneled into all the other sports.
You know what? That's true. With new NIL dollars coming in, you can pay people and they're like, we're tired of sucking at these games. Let's get better.
It's kind of a microcosm of society where somebody that's 10 or 20% better than somebody else gets paid like triple or something stupid, right?
Let's not get into microcosms, Moser.
Okay.
Let's
So the best game of this coming week is on Saturday at 11 a.m. Number 4 Alabama at number 8 Kentucky.
Okay.
You say number 4 Alabama. Yes, Alabama is better at basketball than they are at football.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Pretty funny, huh?
Yeah. It's peculiar.
Then also another big game in the Big Ten. Number 17 Purdue at number 13 Oregon. That's also on Saturday.
Has Oregon won any national championships yet in anything? Because I seem to remember them having
a lot of track.
I remember seeing an empty trophy room.
Really? I think they have a lot of track championships.
They are really fast. They love the green.
It's the Cincinnati.
Football, I know they lost to Auburn in the championship about 10 years ago.
Don't know.
Or 15 years ago, was it?
All right. And there's another one there. Well, there's a game before the NFL playoffs there. Illinois and Michigan State.
Yes, that's another big one. It's 11 a.m. on Sunday before football gets started. If you're like, what's going on? It's number 19 Illinois at 12 Michigan State. And Illinois has been thumping teams recently. So probably underrated in 19.
Kind of like how the Jayhawks have been getting thumped.
A little bit, yeah, unfortunately. Then also Egg Bowl, Mississippi State at Mississippi. Ole Miss.
It's called a what? The Egg Bowl?
It's in football. I don't know if maybe they don't have the name in basketball.
Okay.
I don't know. But Ole Miss is actually undefeated, 4-0. Chris Beard, he's a pretty good coach, but he got fired from Texas.
Okay.
Got hired on at Ole Miss.
Very nice.
And,
that's good. And we also have the Moser's Moments. We have a couple minutes here to go over some really interesting sports history that's happened in this week.
That's right. I was tasked with history also.
What are Moser's Moments of the week?
That is simple as going to a website and typing in January 15th sports history. But I went through.
Don't give away all the trade secrets, bro.
And
he used ChatGPT.
I think some of you will find these interesting. January 15th, 1892. 133 years ago, basketball was invented.
Wow. To also help through the winter.
To also help through the winter.
Get them boys some athletic things to do.
It was invented for football and baseball players to the conditioning to stay up with their conditioning.
Oh, very nice. Very good.
That was true.
And anything else interesting?
Then fast forward a long ways, January 15th, 1964, the very first Major League Baseball amateur draft.
Oh, that was fancy.
happened.
Nice.
January 15th, 1978 was Super Bowl 12.
Wow, they used to have the Super Bowl in January. Now it's like in April, isn't it?
This is where it shifted back. Then January 15th, 1988, somebody named Jimmy the Greek made a bunch of comments on NFL Today.
He was the sports betting prognosticator back in the day. I remember watching him.
Yeah, and I think you said he was probably maybe been the first person to ever get canceled.
Yeah, and then Fat McAfee was telling me that's probably not true. It's probably Howard Cosell was the first one to get canceled. When did Howard Cosell get canceled?
Oh, back in the 70s.
Back in the 70s. So Howard Cosell might have been the first sports guy to get canceled. Then Jimmy the Greek, and then soon us.
I thought I remember Howard Cosell Monday Night Football in the 80s.
Was he?
Might have been late 70s, early 80s.
Early 80s?
Yeah, like OJ Simpson and Don Maynard and those guys.
Actually, one of my favorite Saturday Night Lives of all time was Howard Cosell was the host. And do you remember Ed Grimley?
Oh, I remember Ed Grimley. Maybe we'll see if we can find a clip. We'll see if we can sneak it in.
He comes in. Ed Grimley was being like kidnapped or being, I don't know, he's tortured by some bad guys. And then Howard Cosell came into the rescue. It was his uncle. And he goes, "What are you doing with my nephew? I must say."
And with that, that's the Moser moments. The other one was Dennis Rodman
kicking a cameraman.
So that's good. And I'm going to kick Moser out right now. Get out of here!
Travis, you remember Pokemon Go?
Love Pokemon Go. I've played it a lot. I'm actually level 40 something in Pokemon. The highest you can get is 50.
Oh,
I'm a nerd.
we give you a pat on the back there.
Only play it because my son and daughter play it every once in a while. Now I got to get back on and got to send them gifts and whatnot. Yeah.
I remember years ago, like when at the apex of Pokemon's excitement and craze, we were running a baseball practice out in Arizona, and I'm just watching all these people going through the park while we're practicing doing this. And
dude, you go to places like downtown.
Dozens.
So many people playing that game. It was a phenomenon for real.
It really truly
especially
was.
like here in Kansas City, you go down the plaza and you'd see people in certain places where there would be like certain types of Pokemon. It was really fun how you could see the real world merging with the digital in real time right then.
And guess what? That's coming to sports. And this segment's actually sponsored by our good friends at MLSQuest.com. MLS Quest has figured out a way to gamify fan engagement and taking Pokemon Go, that concept, and bringing it to the world of sports and sports collectibles. So if you look behind us, you'll see like a picture on the wall. The cool thing with MLS Quest is it actually will create a video token. And that token is something that you can collect, Travis. And it's all based on your geo activities. So somebody can actually come to Chapels as a pickup zone and get Jake Davis from Sporting KC in one of his goals that he has. Or your guy Messi, your guy you met online that said he was Messi. He was
actually a cardboard cutout when I was in Buenos Aires in Argentina, and I stood by the Messi, put my arm around him. I was like, "Oh my God, I finally met him!"
There you go. Well, now you can collect his moments. So
I will do. That's good.
It's just a pretty cool little system, and we're
because
excited.
he is with Miami. He plays with Miami now, right?
Does.
So he's not just an international star. He is with Miami. So that's cool. So imagine Pokemon Go plus sports, kind of plus NFTs, digital assets. Really, it's kind of tying the world. I don't think they're officially NFTs like on the blockchain, but they're really cool. And I love to see innovation happening with big sports leagues. You know, the NBA was doing that with NBA Top Shots, and then NFL All Day was doing some stuff. And these are kind of taking those things to the next level. They keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible and helping people have fun in the moment, collecting the moments. I love that.
It does. It's really, the whole concept's genius as it gamifies fan engagement and really allows MLS to take that next level up. And what's cool is like you can actually collect all these different video moments, build prizes, go into trading zones, buy moments. Heck, you can actually get enough prizes to earn like duffel bags, merchandise from the MLS, and even the grand prize, which is going to be tickets to the MLS Championship. So
very nice. I actually been to an MLS Championship game. I saw Sporting KC back in the day win a championship, and it was in December, and it was so cold that year. I was like, I couldn't even believe. Oh, I believe that we will freeze. I was, my feet were frozen. It was horribly cold, but it was so awesome. And I've been to many, many games. So my business partner, Shane Hackett, he runs one of the largest youth soccer leagues, and he's got an awesome booth. He's got a suite there at Sporting Park, and it's fun to go out there. And it's amazing, great dude. Shout out to Shane. And fun place. Soccer is huge worldwide and now growing so big in America. So
it's going to be awesome, and it kicks off next month.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's true. World Cup is coming.
Another Moser moment.
Thank you, Moser.
But yeah, so MLSQuest.com, they're one of our sponsors. We want to thank you for your support in our first episode. And we look forward to learning more about it as more details unfold. So,
yeah. Let it go.
Hey, you can't have sports without food, right?
That's true.
Saying we had
Food
great
and beer,
burgers.
baby.
We had some good meal before this tonight. And one of the things that's going to make this podcast unique as we go forward into episode 2, 3, 4, and beyond is we're going to talk about food, and we're going to talk about good food. And we got some quick and simple recipes that we could give you this week. I mean, everybody knows how to do a popper and buffalo chicken sliders and all this, but actually I'm going to scratch our script here, and I want to promote our master tailgater that we have joining us here in future episodes, my good friend Nick Farr, college baseball player. He's been a 4-time guest star on the Food Network, won Guys Grocery Games twice, makes amazing food. He is absolutely, Nick, the most miserable, long-suffering Chicago sports fan. So you're not just going to have some Chiefs guys on here. We're going to bring in a Chicago Bears fan, a Cubs fan, a Chicago fan in general, and Nick is going to do some amazing things. Heck, I just sounded like Donald Trump right there in a press conference.
Everyone knows it's going to be so good.
Amazing. But Nick Farr is excited to bring his culinary talents to the fan base. He's going to bring us some great video concepts live from his backyard in Gilbert, Arizona. And every now and then, guess what? Nick's going to be in Kansas City.
Oh, man, we're going to be grilling live in person.
Nick,
we're going to Marty's house and getting some food.
There we go. Good. So, Nick, we're excited to have you join the team. We're excited to bring your Food Network background to this. I think fans are going to love this. And, with that, welcome to the team, Nick. So we'll see you here in a future episode.
Very nice. And I want to also say this before we move on. We're going to be looking for fans from all types of fan bases. This is not just, hey, we're Chiefs fans. We happen to be Chiefs fans, of course, but we want to talk to other fans of other leagues and have great conversations. So we're going to have big round tables, and we'll have you on the show. We will be trying to figure out who those fans for those other fan bases are as we create one big collective. So make sure to follow us, subscribe, and do all that fun stuff. And make sure to do that same thing with Chapels. Go out and connect with them on Instagram and on Facebook and show them some love. And come out here sometime. If you're ever in Kansas City, you must come here.
Yeah, if you're coming to Arrowhead to watch the Chiefs play, you need to be at Chapels. You need to come here. You need to see all the Chiefs history they have in here, all the sports history. This is a must stop. And as we go forward in this podcast, we're going to take the show. We're going to go to other historic places and sports bars across the country, because what this really is about, Travis, is kind of how we started this. We can't lose this connection and all this memorabilia. Sports bars today, guys, they're not Hooters. They're not Twin Peaks. It's not Buffalo Wild Wings. It is Chapels. It is these places that are the salt of the earth sports bar where you come in, you get great food, you know your waiter, you know your bartender, you have a great time, and you can stay connected to some amazing elements of history. And that's what we hope to pull out of the show as we go into future episodes. So we're excited about that big time.
I want to say Hooters and Twin Peaks does have some really nice assets there. And I can see why you'd want to go there. But if you want to see some cool sports stuff, you want to come to the real places. You want to see Jackie Robinson on the wall, man. This is awesome. I love this place.
If you need to see that, you can go on the internet.
That's true. You can go to our other page on onlyfans.com.
Nope, that's not launching yet.
Oh, that's right. Hold on.
I don't need my wife yelling at me. Gosh, dang it. All right, welcome to one of our final segments of the podcast is the cocktail recipe of the week. We're excited, Travis, to also, with food, you got to have drink.
You do.
With sports. And
food, drink, beer, cocktails.
Bourbon,
right?
All that fun stuff. So our good friends here at Chapels have made us the Red Zone Blitz. The Red Zone Blitz is an easy at-home drink you can make. Just 2 ounces of whiskey. You've got an ounce of grenadine, a little bit of lemon. Pour it over the ice, shake it up really well, put it back in that glass, top it with a little bit of ginger beer. So here's the episode.
I would maybe put a little bit of Sprite in there so it's almost like a Shirley Temple but with a little bit of whiskey.
You can. But cheers, brother, to
Cheers to
episode
you.
1 and 100 more coming.
We had one for you, Moser, but we drank it.
So we have got a lot of upcoming specialty drinks that we're going to focus on, talk about. We're going to even be able to...
Good job.
Good job. Ooh,
You got to get a little
tap on the bottom there. We're even going to be help out those people in Cincinnati who are often finding themselves in January looking for that perfect stout beer that will help offset the loss of not being in the playoffs again. Joe Burrow, rest in peace.
Listen to you. You know, so Jarek and I, my son, we went to the game a couple years ago when the Bengals beat us, right? But we were up 21-3. And I said to him, I was like, hey, man, good, you know, at least you guys got this far. And then they came back to beat us. So I was like, Travis needs to learn when to shut the fuck up.
He does. That was actually the big game where Mahomes and Eric Bieniemy got into a big piston match in the locker room at halftime. And I happened to write an article about that.
Oh, man.
That went extremely viral, got a lot of hate mail over it. But it was actually true, and it was so true that head coach Andy Reid had to address it on the podium
Oh, no.
at the NFL Combine.
Look at him causing mischief over here.
Always.
Causing all kinds of mischief. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in to the first episode. Obviously, we're working through some technical issues. We want to figure out how to. We had 3 cameras, but it was getting feedback, and we're not AV guys, so we got to figure that whole thing out, and we will. And so we appreciate you jumping on and being with us. A lot of the times we'll be, doing it from our home office, but then, maybe once a month, twice a month or so, we'll be doing it from on location. So we got to figure out the whole process, and we will.
We're excited, and we've got a great list of upcoming segments that we're working on. I think, Travis, the one that I'm super excited about.
Is that the one about your mom? We already did that one earlier.
We did that one earlier.
Okay.
But it's our 8-mile contest. You want to talk about this one?
Yeah, it's an 8-mile style roast your rival, sort of like a rap battle, but where you're roasting off somebody from another team. I think it'd be great having a Yankees fan and a Boston fan roasting each other, or North Carolina and Duke, or Ohio State and Michigan, people who really hate each other. KU versus Mizzou potentially, or Raiders fan and Chiefs fan, just whatever. We'll kind of match them up as we go, and then we'll be able to crown who is the roast daddy.
That's true. We're really looking forward to that. We're looking forward to bringing you unique content every episode. We're trying to fill the gap on what exists in the world of sports podcasts. This isn't a podcast that's going to be about one team. This is going to be a podcast about sports.
We say that while we're wearing stuff from one team.
True. But it's going to be about the connection that you have. And
it's not going to be a bunch of sports experts, because we're not sports experts. It's not going to be about a bunch of former athletes, because we're clearly not athletes
anymore. But this is Fat Pitt, and I'm Fat McAfee, and we're signing out from Chapels.
The Fat Base.
The Fat Base or the Fan Base?
Oh yeah, it's the Fan
Base. Thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you on future episodes.
The Fat Base. That's funny.
Now I'm broke and I am broken, all because of it.